doing it! I'm doing it! I'm doing it!
What is it really like to live the slow life in rural Sweden? We recently found the perfect property, and after losing an intense bidding war, the future we had been so excited for in our dream home vanished. Heartbroken, and with our time in Sweden coming to an end, we decided to indulge in this dream just a little longer, spending a few days in our very own lakefront cabin in the countryside. Welcome to our humble abode, our lovely cabin in the Swedish countryside on a lake, which is our new home, at least for the next few days. Let me show you guys around. Now the real reason we're here is of course for the outside, which I will show you guys in a minute, but let's first show you inside the house. This is such a lovely size for the three of us to stay. We have the living room, dining room area here, and the kitchen. And the best thing about this place is it's just lined with windows, so you can enjoy the beautiful lakefront view.
What we like about houses like this is that they have this really nice mix of on-grid and off-grid. So the water, for example, comes from a well just outside the house. You do have electricity, so it is connected to the grid in that sense, but then things like the toilet is always interesting, and here we have an incinerator.
I never in a million years thought that I would be saying to Alex, excuse me while I go and incinerate my wee. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever used. Let me actually show you guys this thing. It's really, really strange.
Make sure there's nothing in it.
Nothing in it, yeah, okay. This is so weird. Okay, so let me show you exactly how to use it. You give them these little like papery things.
I feel like I'm in the US, they have those weird little thin seat covers for some reason.
Yeah, it's like a seat cover, but very much not. So if you look inside the toilet, it's got this weird like, I don't know how you would even describe that, like a little bucket, like a V bucket, and then you put the little bit of paper in and you do your business in there, then you close the lid.
And then you send it to the depths of hell.
You send it to the depths of hell. Where it just disappears and you never see it ever again. Yeah, you just push a button basically and it goes down and the little thing says like incinerating. There you go, incineration in progress. This is from your little trip to the toilet earlier.
Don't tell them what I do. They don't need to know I have human functions.
Yeah, so the little flame thing lights up over here to show you that it's incinerating. And you can still use it whilst it's incinerating, which kind of blows my mind. I've never said the word incinerating so many times. The cabin's heated up a few different ways. So they've got underfloor heating in the bathroom area. They've also got radiators throughout the house, so it's heated via water. And there's this beautiful fireplace right in the middle, which we're not using at the moment because it's actually too warm, but I imagine in the winter it's very nice and cozy. And then upstairs we have two really good sized bedrooms with incredible views over the lake. But the thing that I am most excited about to show you guys is of course outside, so follow me. Just look at this outside space, this decking area. You can have barbecues, you can cozy up with a nice hot drink and a blanket and look out over this lake. Sunrise, sunset, during the day, anytime. It's just absolutely magic out here. And of course, I feel like it wouldn't be a Swedish property if it didn't have a sauna. And this, of course, has one.
This is the best one I've seen in Sweden.
So if you come inside, you might just think, oh look, standard sauna, that's pretty normal. But then you turn around and look at this full-length window looking out at the lake. Can you think of anything more perfect than this? Sitting in, nice and cozy. I'm imagining being here in the winter especially, because about a month ago, this lake was actually still frozen. So imagine sitting in here, all cozy and warm from your wood fire sauna, looking out at a frozen lake in Sweden.
Something we love about Sweden is their wellness culture, and so saunas seem to be everywhere. They really like to get out into nature, into wildlife, and then you also have sort of the hot and cold, so it is quite normal for them to get super hot in the sauna and then run down and jump off the jetty into the lake to cool down.
The property also comes with this awesome grill outside. It's like the grill cabin that we were in the other week, but minus the cabin.
So just a grill then?
Just a grill with some seats around it. And I'm hoping that this evening will be a nice calm evening without too much wind, so we can actually sit around here and have a little barbecue. If you told us 10 years ago that we would be looking into buying a cabin in the middle of nowhere in Sweden, we definitely wouldn't have believed it. We're not the kind of people who can stay in one place for too long, but at the same time, we are both craving a place to lay roots. A place where Noah can thrive and we can enjoy slowing down and enjoying moments like this as a family in between our trips.
Now that we're not looking at houses, it's been really good because we've got to experience what it would like to actually live here. And we have just done absolutely nothing for a couple of days. And
it's been so nice.
Oh, that's the opposite of what I was going to say. I was going to say, it's been so boring. But boring is good. I don't actually mean that in a negative sense. We've just done nothing that would be interesting for you guys. It's not really even that interesting for us, but just being, laying, and
resting,
playing with our son. It's been the best.
Now is time for one of my favourite of the Swedish traditions, and that is called fika, which roughly translates to coffee and cake. And they have this twice a day, every day, and it is my favourite part of being Swedish. I'm now Swedish, and this is part of my tradition too.
I think traditionally it's with like pastry or cake. I've actually smuggled some Swedish chocolate on my body.
Yeah, that sounds great. We don't have access to a bakery where we are here, but chocolate will definitely do. And I think essentially fika is an opportunity to people to step away from their work and their jobs and kind of recharge their batteries a bit, refresh themselves, and maybe socialize for 15-20 minutes. It's not like a long spread out thing, it's just like a short break in the day. I think they typically take one about 10 a.m. and one in the afternoon around 3 p.m. and it's 3 p.m. now, so we're perfect Swedish timing.
Definitely take with a pinch of salt anything we say on this channel. If we're going to teach you about other cultures, we couldn't even teach you about the British culture, to be honest. So I would say like this is what we believe is the case and we've sort of been told, but as always with YouTube, you guys are right and you'll tell us in the comments. It's actually really windy out there, and not just Emma. So we decided to come into the sauna, just to come and sit and have coffee, not have a sauna. This is great.
Is it?
Look at the view.
This is great.
I mean, we've got nothing else to do. Our son's asleep and we've got to try and take advantage of the time.
This is great.
I mean, maybe I'm just more
cold sauna room. This is great. Alright, mate. Easily pleased.
Maybe I'm just
so tired.
I'm just a glass half full kind of person.
You really are.
How can you not enjoy this?
I feel like I've got proper giggles. Does anyone else get that when you're really, really tired and it's just, you can't stop giggling at everything?
When we decided to come to Sweden to look at property, having never been here, I mean, we thought we were crazy.
When you say it out loud as well, it sounds crazy.
And it's funny because just from watching videos of Sweden and researching Sweden, I felt like I loved it. It had everything that I wanted.
But before we even arrived, we kind of fell in love with it, didn't we?
And then typically expectation versus reality is not the case, but having been here, Sweden is just wonderful.
It's so nice, you guys. And we assumed it wouldn't live up to our expectations, but it's exceeded them, I would say.
Yeah, and it's been somewhere where you just feel very comfortable being.
I feel at home here. Like, it feels very easy, relaxing. And I found that quite often when we go home in between our trips, we struggle to get recharged and feel sort of energized from it. Whereas here, I do feel energized and recharged.
Absolutely.
Which is so nice.
I think even in behind the scenes of going on in our life, I think we were getting closer to the channel ending than we maybe would have wanted to be the case, but that's just where it was going. But this trip has kind of been the opposite, and we're so recharged and we're absolutely loving making videos again, and it's just absolutely perfect. I'd heard before coming that Scandinavian people can speak English, but the reality of it is insane. Some of them speak better English than people in England.
It's mind-boggling that you can go so far away from the main cities here, out into the sticks, 7 hours away from Stockholm, and everyone is speaking perfect English in every little shop that you go in.
Which then in turn is very, very connecting.
Yeah.
As you get to really know people, and I feel like we've already made a bunch of friends here kind of effortlessly.
Yeah.
And that is just adding to the whole experience, that if we were going to call this home, it makes it feel like home.
Yeah. And it's not that sort of daunting feeling that, I've started learning a little bit of Swedish. I don't think my pronunciation's brilliant, so it is nice to know that no matter how far along my language journey I get, we can always default to English. Love this time of day. It's so lovely out here. It's getting a little bit chilly, but the lighting is absolutely beautiful, and it's so peaceful.
Apart from the geese, they're going mental.
All you can hear is the geese having a party in the background. And a gull. A gull and the geese.
It's now time to use the sauna properly. And we're gonna go start the fire in here.
Yeah, okay, into our woodshed. Oh, look! Got me a hatchet. You can't live in a cabin in the woods in Sweden and not have a hatchet. Okay, so a few bits of wood. I guess nothing too big because the burner in there isn't very big. So I might have to actually chop some wood.
Traditionally, I think that the Swedes will get super hot in the sauna and then go and run out into the snow in the winter or into the lake. So, are you going to participate?
Well, I think that you should go first because it's an experience that you can only have for the first time once. I wouldn't want to rob that from you by seeing me do it first.
The thing is that the people on this channel don't want to see my fat ass run into the water. They want to see your fat...
Wow.
Your fast run into the water, don't they?
Well, if we're going to be traditional, we have to be completely naked in the sauna.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, they'll never know if I've run and jumped into the lake or not.
Or no, or they can just look. We've done new videos on this channel.
Yeah, and then they get demonetized and banned. So maybe that's not the best idea.
So you're saying we should leave it up to their imagination?
Oh my God.
No, because that's gross. You don't leave a man and his imagination alone together. With the culture, everything here just sort of screams us. Like the wildlife here is so good, and it's so exciting to see. And maybe one day we'll get bored of seeing moose, maybe wolves or bears, or they're very rare.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I want to do that every day of my life.
Yeah, and it's really nice actually that they have these animals that are so elusive, like the moose, the lynx. They have the lynx here as well, and so there's always that kind of excitement, like we could see these animals, and I think that's something that we always really like on our travels in general. So to have that on our doorstep, if this was our home base, would just be next level.
And I've always dreamed of having a house by water. And in Sweden, there's something like 10,000 lakes. And even the locals have told us, like, a house by the lake is not a big deal to a Swedish person. I think it said 1 in 15 people in Sweden has a holiday home. And then within that, you've got sort of families sort of connected to that. So it works out about 1 in 5.
Have
so
access to
one. It's not a big deal, but to us, it's the biggest of deals. And the fact that it means that we can find something and we don't really have to compromise so much.
Yeah, that's really a breath of fresh air, isn't it? Because that's one thing that we really struggled when we were looking at property in Portugal, is that we really wanted it to be on a river. And it's just really hard because obviously those kind of properties are a lot more expensive, whereas here, there's
giving
just
them away.
Unlimited choice.
I have been waiting all day for the wind to die down, as I have been desperate to go out on the kayak here. And I think kayaking is my favourite hobby that I never do. It's one of these ones I dream about doing, but I actually realised recently that I don't do it, especially for the amount I dream of doing it, and I just feel like I have to be in a special place to do it. But this is one of those special places, and it seems to be that on the lake, that in the morning or in the evenings that it's still, and that works perfectly for us because Noah is in bed now, so I can do that.
Are you doing this in your jeans?
I mean, am I appropriately dressed? Maybe not, but what am I supposed to wear? Like, if I get wet, I get wet. I'm just wearing jeans, right?
Yes.
What am I going to do? Get changed to go kayaking? And what are you, the governing body of kayaking?
Okay.
But am I supposed to wear shoes?
I don't know.
I mean, I just want to go on the water and float about for a little bit.
Yeah.
That is cold on my feet. Oh goodness. Woo! My feet are freezing. How am I going to get out of this?
Yeah, I think you're gonna get wet, mate.
Okay.
And that was the last time we ever saw Alex.
Being out on water like this is my happy place. When it's like glass and every stroke is the thing that disturbs the water. I can't explain it. I mean, I can't do meditation. I've tried to do meditation and I sit there and I get frustrated that I can't do it. But these kind of moments like this is pretty much as close as I can get to that, where I can be fully in the moment when I'm not chatting with you guys. And last year I did a wilderness survival course for 5 days, and it's been up there with the best moments of my life. And I kind of made a promise to myself that every year I'm going to do something like that, something big, something that scares me, something that pushes me. And I think the one thing I want to do this year is something like that, but with kayaking. So wild kayak camping is my hopeful plan to do. And I'd love to know from you guys, does anyone know any great places for kayaking? Like, I don't want to see kayak. I want to do it probably on a river or maybe lakes where I can probably do it with a person because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I want to keep learning my skills and developing my skills, that one day just me and Noah could go out and do this kind of stuff. But to be able to go see wildlife, nature, camp as we go, and kind of have a destination from A to B. So if anyone knows of any great places, off the top of my head, I'm thinking somewhere like Sweden or maybe Canada. But then I do get scared of the grizzly bears there. But then when I did the wilderness survival thing, there was also grizzly bears there. So they're obviously not always out to get you. But yeah, let me know, as it's something that I really, really want to do.
So we actually fly home in 2 days. And usually at this point of the trip, I'm starting to really look forward to going home. I've kind of switched off from filming, and I've, taken everything I can from the trip itself, and I'm actually just looking forward to being in my own bed and seeing family and friends and stuff like that. But this is the first trip in a really, really long time that I just don't feel ready to go home. And that's really nice and really special. And I'm feeling just very grateful for this time that we've had in Sweden, to have been to a place that has really felt restful and relaxing and comfortable for us. And yeah, I'm actually a little bit sad to be leaving. I'm a lot sad to be leaving.
A lot of you guys have been asking us about how we deal with the winters. This area that we're in now is called Dalarna, and I think from our trip and going around, this is the area that we would want to find somewhere. And in the winter, it's still very, very intense, -20, everything frozen. The good news sort of for us is we run a travel channel and we want to keep traveling.
Yes, having a base here would be no different to how it is now. We have a base in the UK that we go back to, which costs so much money to have, because the UK is not cheap for accommodation. So actually, I think money-wise, obviously we'd be spending more upfront by buying the place, but we wouldn't be wasting money on rent at home. So we would just be moving our base from there to here. And a lot of you also asked about the visas, like, can we actually be here for a whole year? No. And the answer is no, we can't.
We can't. Thanks to Brexit, we can't do anything like that.
But our place in the UK that we're spending all this money on having, we probably spend less than 6 months of the year there anyway in total, because we're always on the road. So I think it wouldn't make that much difference if our place was here and we're only allowed to be here 6 months out of 12 months of the year because of Brexit. Yeah, it really wouldn't make that much of a difference to us.
What stood out to us about Sweden is that they have the concept of holiday homes, and if 1 in 15 people have a holiday home in Sweden, it means the culture is sort of adapted to that, meaning that you can leave the place for X amount of months in the year. So leaving for the winter and to go off traveling is not a big deal here.
We have actually had saunas at every Airbnb that we have stayed at on this trip. It just seems like it's part and parcel of the Swedish experience. If you have a house out here in the countryside, you have a sauna, which has been such a nice treat. We had no idea this was going to be the case when we arrived.
They don't even advertise at most of the places. It's like, it's not even a big deal.
No, it's not a big deal at all. And some of the places have no mention and no photos even, and you turn up and there's just a sauna there. Really, really cool. But this one has to be the best in terms of the whole experience. Being able to look out over the lake with a proper traditional wood fire sauna So with the wood fire saunas, the way that they heat them up is by having a fire underneath, and then on top you actually pour a bit of water onto the kind of rocks on the top, and it steams up, and that's what actually heats up the room. This is the only container I could find to put water in. It's a child's sandcastle pail, so I'm going to be using this to make it nice and cozy in
Any
here.
vessel works.
Yeah.
I'm doing it! I'm doing it! I'm fucking doing it! I'm not doing it! I'm not doing it! I'm not doing it!
What changed?
Well, that's quite a long run from there to there, and by the time I got down there, I'm way too cold. No chance. If I pretend like if the water was straight outside it and I just jumped in, like, yeah, I would have done it. But I ain't doing that. I'm not Swedish yet. Judge me all you like. Unfortunately, that's it for our time in Sweden.
Yes.
At least this time, anyway.
It's gone so fast. Like, I think out of all the trips we've done recently, this one's gone the quickest. And I think that probably means that we've had the best time.
And the weather is just absolutely insane. It doesn't even feel like spring
No.
here now. It feels like we've bypassed that, gone straight to summer.
It's really nice.
And I'm loving it, and kind of give me a false sense of security for things like the winters here, because my memories of Sweden are going to be warm, hot, still.
I think what's been so nice about our time in Sweden as well is that it's been completely unexpected. Sweden's a place that's never been on our radar for even a trip, let alone a place to actually buy property and live full time. So I feel like going forward, we're going to have very open minds when it comes to other locations, other potential places to settle down.
I think we're pretty set on finding a place here in Sweden, but on the flip side, I think the thing we definitely want a base.
Yeah.
Want it to be in nature, and also want it to be in Europe.
Yeah.
And Sweden is definitely winning, and it's very much likely to be the place. But we're going to leave now, and this was such a surprise that maybe there's some other places out there that we're not anticipating, but actually is good value for money and has every box ticked.
Yep.
So we're going to keep an eye out and
Hope for some more surprises.
if you enjoyed the video, give it a big fat thumbs up. Let us know down in the comments where would you like to see us go next, and also where would you like to see us buy property.
Oh my god. Check the link down in the description if you're interested in better help, and of course don't forget to subscribe.
And nothing left to say, but thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, and
Beans out.